Hey, good day, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Cooking Something Good. I'm your host, Dave Duso. Cooking Something Good. Fix your collar, Dave. Where food is fun, fun is food, and it's always foodie fun time at Cooking Something Good. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Great guest. We've got Noah Bogoff. He is the head brewmaster. I think that's what you call him. Or the brewmaster, head brewer. I'm going to call him the head brewmaster. At the Berkshire Brewing Company, they're in South Deerfield, Massachusetts. Every year they come out with their... it's a holiday ale. They call it Holidale. And this year it has a snickerdoodle kind of taste to it. It's pretty cool. Kind of Caribbean flavors. We talk about how he came up with the recipe, how beer is brewed, the process. And we have a lot of fun talking about things such as, are you more effective trying to meet someone by saying the word in a bar, say? You see someone you find attractive. Are you more effective saying the word snickerdoodle or just, hi, I'm Corey? What's more effective when you're trying to meet someone at a bar? A lot of different things we talk about today. We're also going to give away a t-shirt from the Berkshire Brewing Company, and you can do that right now. Be the first person to call or text 732-336-1040, 732-336-1040. 736-333-336-1040. I said it so many times I confused myself. One more time, 732-336-1040. Be the first. You win a Berkshire Brewing Company t-shirt. We've also got some gift certificates. It's the holiday season. Bump, 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 ba-da-dum, bump, bump. David Duso. I'm a narcissist. I don't care. I just love myself so. Yeah, that's strange. I came up with a little jingle for the Berkshire Brewing Company based on an old holiday song, and I came up with a jingle that we're going to send. A jingle for the city of Newark, New Jersey. All that and more today at Cooking Something Good. Before we get going, I know you're asking. I know a lot of people, I'm going to tighten up there. People are asking, and the answer to your question, because I'm a mind reader and I know what you're asking, is no, I am not wearing pants or underwear. And it's in protest to the GE washing machines that don't have towers, those direct drives washing machines. And they didn't, again, rinse my clothes. So my clothes were soaking wet. So luckily I had this shirt clean, which is the go-to. And I had my JSJ, my Jim Shea jacket on. But no, I'm down from here down, nothing. I am completely naked here in the Jones Barbecue Studio. Jones Barbecue, some of the best barbecue sauce you'll ever have. Go again to our website, csgbn.com. Great gift idea. They come in packages of 3, spicy and tangy. It's just really, really good. Get your order in now. It's that time of year. But let's get over now to Noah Bogoff, and I'm going to do it magically. Watch this. Noah, here he comes. And just like magic, here we are at Cooking Something Good. I'm with Noah Bogoff. He is the head brewer at the Berkshire Brewing Company. Noah, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I did. Thanks for having me.
I know your schedule's really, really busy. Hey, I'm going to start by letting you know something. I am a wine drinker, and I like signature cocktails. I am not a big beer drinker, but last week we had your neighbor on, Zach, from Zach's Barbecue in South Deerfield, Massachusetts. Whenever I have barbecue or hamburgers or hot dogs, any barbecue-y related things, it's always beer, and it's always your steel rail. It's my favorite. So I just want to say thank you to your family and everybody at the Berkshire Brewing Company for making me happy, because I've gotten more out of your beer than it's gotten out of me so far.
That's great to hear, Dave. Yeah, it's a great beer to have with those foods. So. I'm not surprised.
It's my favorite. And the only other time I drink beer is during the holiday season, because I really like, you guys have an annual holiday ale. So can you talk about that a little bit? What went into it this year?
Yeah, so the holiday ale is usually a barley wine style. And this year we kind of took that style and amped it up with the flavoring of snickerdoodle cookies. So we brewed a very rich malty beer using Belgian honey malt and biscuit malt. And then we added some nice spices, some whole nutmeg, allspice, vanilla bean, and cinnamon. And actually a little bit of cocoa nib as well to kind of give you that snickerdoodle cookie element.
Can I ask you a quick question? If you were single and saw a woman or someone at the bar that you might be interested in, and they seem attractive to you, and they seem like they had nice personalities. Do you think if you just walked up and said snickerdoodle, you think you might end up and wake up with her in the morning or him?
That's a really good question.
I
think it would definitely lead to an interesting night.
Is that a good question, Noah, or is that just ridiculous?
It's ridiculous, but like sometimes you hit people with that weird obtuse anything, and who knows?
Who knows? Especially if they're enjoying a Berkshire brew at the bar, maybe having a taco.
That would be key. They would have to be drinking that beer.
What's the
then
process?
You hit them with a snickerdoodle.
Then you hit them with a snickerdoodle. It's a win-win. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
What did he say to you? He's so cute. He said snickerdoodle. I'm not sure that would work. I guarantee you that wouldn't work.
Someone's gonna have to give it a shot.
I'm married, so I can't.
Yeah, I'm tied up too. So.
Yeah, so there's no.
Actually, I'll just try it to my girlfriend and
see what she says.
See what type of reaction I get out of it.
If she says, "Have you been talking to Dave Dusso?" You'll know you shouldn't be talking to Dave Dusso. It should not be the plan. Hey, making beer is a science. It really is. There's science involved. Can you talk about the process of making beer in general? Because I've always been fascinated. Well, I've always been fascinated by drinking it, but the science of it also.
I think a lot of brewing happened before there was a lot of hard science to back it up. And, we're in the age now where there is a lot of academic science going into the industry and kind of discovering what the magic was that was considered magic back in the day. So, I really consider it like a healthy mix of science and then like culinary kind of feel.
Yeah, because let me interrupt you quickly, because there's with the science, then there's that you're almost like a chef with a recipe that you're putting into that also. Correct?
Absolutely. Especially like with the Holidale, like that was a lot of just like kind of thinking out loud and brainstorming and like what ingredients should we use to kind of bring this beer together. So, certainly science comes into play when we need to execute and hit certain numbers with the brewing process. But then again, getting to that point is still all on the creative side. As well. The initial question was the explanation, the process.
The process, yeah. And then we'll talk a little bit about what goes into holiday. How do you say it? Holidale?
Holidale. Holidale. Yeah.
Bum 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 Holidale.
Yeah, exactly.
Drink Berkshire Brewing, you will never ever fail. I like that.
It's pretty good, man.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Right?
That's a great jingle.
Wow, between that and the snickerdoodles,
we got to get that on the radio.
Oh my God, I think that'd be great. I had one for Newark, New Jersey. Newark, a great place to get shot.
Oh my God. Oh,
but they seem like they're cleaning it up. That was way back when. I don't know if they're cleaning up or not. I don't know how that came to me. See,
hey, Jersey's a great state.
Jersey's a great state, and people don't realize that. You go off of the, up here, you just think about going down 95, right?
Right.
So that's all you see. But get off the 95. It's a great, beautiful state. It's a good place to hit. It's a good place to hit a deer. There are more deer in the road in New Jersey than anywhere I've ever been.
Yeah, my buddy from college was a big hunter. Him and his family. Yeah. So.
And they would go to Jersey.
They were from North Jersey. I was like, really, Jersey?
Jersey.
Yeah, so the brewing thing, like to explain it simply, we're taking grains from the field and they're getting malted, and that's kind of just converting them a little bit into an ingredient that we can mix with hot water and kind of make like a mash, like an oatmeal, where you have this nice viscous mix. And what's happening is the water is activating enzymes in the barley and malt that are converting starch to sugar, the sugar being called maltose after malt.
Yeah.
And then we're extracting that liquid into a boil kettle. That liquid is called wort. And then we're kind of steeping hops for a few different reasons. We're trying to extract some bitterness in the form of acids, and that's going to give balance to kind of the sweet brew that you have. And then we're getting flavors from the hops, which range from like earthy to piney to citrusy to tropical and stone fruit. And then you're also kind of getting aromatics from the hops as well, kind of ranging in those same descriptors that I just said. So after the boil, we're going to cool that temperature down and make it really friendly environment for yeast to kind of thrive in. And the yeast just love to eat up all that fermentable sugar, that maltose. And the byproduct of the consumption of the maltose is alcohol, which gives you your buzz. Alcohol adds like a very unique, nice flavor to the product as well. And it gives you a little bit of carbon dioxide and CO2. So it kind of gets it, the yeast kind of pushes it along its way to become a final packaged beer. At that point, we do a little bit of filtration, and then we do a full carbonation on it by just injecting CO2.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Yeah, I was going to ask you where the carbonation comes from. So it's.
Yeah, so we have like a 28,000 pound liquid CO2 tank in the back of the building that's hard piped into various spots. So we can basically tap CO2 into any tank in here and carbonate it up to a desired value. And we actually use an instrument to measure that volume of carbonation because we want to have a consistent product. So
how long does this whole process take?
So for ales, it's a little quicker. We can get the beer into the bottle in about 10 days from the time we mash in. Lagers are a different yeast strain that kind of work a little bit slower, and you kind of also want to age them a little bit longer to get the desired profiles out of that yeast strain. So, lagers anywhere from 3 to 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the beer style.
Now, when I cook something, I'm tasting along the way to make sure that it's the product I want. How do you know it's going to be? Do you taste? Do you test? Do you check it?
I mean, it's really healthy. It's really good to taste along the way. Like much like when you're cooking, making a sauce or something, you're starting with a few simple ingredients, and you might be adding a little bit of salt and maybe a little bit of pepper. You want to make sure you're not over salting right then and there before you're adding your tomato puree or whatever. So same thing goes with brewing. When we're extracting that first liquid, that wort, we want to taste it. We want to look and make sure the appearance is correct. So same thing with cooking. It's like you eat with your eyes. With beer, you drink with your eyes. So you want the style you're making to be representative of what it should look like in the glass. Along the way and during fermentation, you want to kind of keep track of the amount of sugar that's being turned into alcohol along the way, and that's kind of how you measure the fermentation process when it begins, when it goes into an exponential phase, when it kind of dies off, and when the beer is kind of finally ready to go to the next stage.
Now, I know you guys don't do sours, right?
We do, yeah, we do from time to time.
I interviewed a guy a couple of years ago, a brewery up in Maine, very nice guy, but they did all sours. And I'm trying to remember, I think one of it had to sit for like 2 years.
Yeah, so sour beers have become very popular.
I'm not a fan, States. By the way. It's not my thing.
It's to each their own. So traditionally, sour beers kind of were more of a Belgian thing.
That's the first time I had one 25 years ago in Belgium.
Right. Yeah. So like breweries like Cantillon is like a very famous one. And that is all like wild fermentation or spontaneous fermentation, if you will, using kind of like the flora of like the yeast and bacteria that are kind of in that location geographically. Yeah. And what happens is that beer will kind of ferment. It will allow those yeast and bacteria to take over And in breweries like the one I mentioned, there is almost like a house culture there, a house mix of bacteria and yeast that kind of works with that product and gets them a very consistent souring of their beer.
That's a long time to sit. I mean, your ROI's got to be really tough. That's a tough business.
Yeah, it takes a long time, but I think that the quality of a sour in that regard is like super high, and so the profit is really good on that beer, and it's highly regarded as some of the best sour beer in the world. Now there are different ways to make it. You can speed this process up now by kettle souring, which you can add a pitch of a pre kind of grown up bacteria and yeast mix, and you can kind of sour the wort in your kettle. And essentially, you're just like, those microbes are creating acids that are dropping the pH, anywhere from probably well below 4, above 2 pH. And that's kind of, you're getting that sour from that. And then you can ferment the beer with like a regular ale yeast and kind of chew up all the sugar. And so you're left with like a beer with alcohol that has all that lactic acid and different types of byproducts of bacteria and yeast fermentation.
And by the time you're done with that, you're in a walker and you're wearing Depends. I mean, you're an old man. You're an old man.
The kettle sours really quick. There are some yeast companies out there that have genetically modified regular ale yeast that takes 5 days to ferment, but that yeast has a component where the byproduct also that fermentation is to drop the pH by producing lactic acid. So in as simply as I can explain it, it's like scientists have spliced in the gene from let's say a lactobacillus bacteria, and the gene that produces that lactic acid, they've spliced it into an ale yeast.
Yeah.
And so it's like a genetically modified little monster.
I can stop you right here. Can I help you, Mr. Dusso? Yes, I'll have a cheeseburger with bacon, tomato, lettuce. Can I have mayonnaise on that? A little salt and pepper, and a steel rail, please. I don't need to
keep it simple,
I don't need to know any more than that. Back in the beer's been around for a long time, ale for a long time. We're talking about the scientific process to make sure it's safe. Back in the old days, did the guy finish or the woman finish making it? Here, try this. People low on the totem pole. I'm blind. All right, you try it. She's dead. You try it. Hey, it's good. All right, now we got it just right. I mean, how did people? I read up. People used to go blind. They used to die. It was a risk drinking a beer back in the day.
Well, apparently it was less risky than drinking water back then. So
that's why they had it.
That's why we have the beer today.
That's the absolute truth. That's how beer came along, because water wasn't safe.
Anecdotally, I've heard things about, there's never been pathogens found in beer, something about the environment for fermentation to happen kind of like voids all the nasty stuff that can really take you out. But I don't know if that's true or not.
Instead of alcoholics, it was H2O-aholic. You went through your steps and you had to stop drinking water.
Yeah, 12 steps.
The 12 steps of stop drinking water.
Unsobriety.
Yeah, it's like he keeps drinking the water. He keeps getting dysentery. I can't get him off the water. He just won't drink the alcohol. It was a different day, but that's I had forgot about that. I read about that where beer came along because you couldn't drink water.
Yeah, it was a nasty situation for.
There's always telling you. There's always someone telling you what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, what you should drink. Have a beer, have a burger, relax. Number one cause of death in the United States is heart disease, and the number one cause of heart disease is high blood pressure, and the number one cause of high blood pressure is stress. Have a beer, have a burger, relax. You'll live forever. And people say that's not true. I've been doing it my whole life. I'm not dead, so I'm living proof.
Not dead yet.
Not dead, period. I'm not dead. So
I couldn't agree more, man.
Yeah, the beer burger kills. It kills. The beer burger with the fry and the mayonnaise with the apple cider vinegar and a Berkshire brew has been working for me. I don't know
One a day.
I don't know if it's been working. I got to start exercising. I have like breast. I have
The
to.
beer can help with that. The beer can help grow breasts.
That's the problem. I used to go to bars with my friends. We'd check out girls, be like, nice. Now I'm like, mine are bigger. It's gotta lose a couple of pounds. Hey,
it's
back
winter time, man.
Yeah,
you gotta stay warm.
You gotta stay warm. Back to the holiday. Oh, Jesus, say it again. Holidale. Back to the Berkshire Brew Holidale, which I can't say, but I look forward to every year. Kind of I love Caribbean food. I love I love the spices, and you got a little tinge of that. Can you talk to us a little bit about that spicy Caribbean kind of tinge to the beer this year?
Yeah. So
Holidale.
We're trying to do that snickerdoodle cookie element, and no cookies were harmed in the making of this beer, but we really wanted to kind of attack that spice side with some cinnamon. So we've got some Saigon Vietnamese cinnamon, which is kind of a little more floral and not like your typical cinnamon, what you think of.
Yeah.
Really nice ingredient to use. We used whole nutmeg, which is really beautiful, and adds like just a nice kind of seasonal element. And we used whole allspice as well to kind of couple with that. So, like it's not quite clovey, but it's just got that very nice like holiday kind of potpourri thing going on. And then we like really nailed it with there were grade A vanilla beans. I think they're Madagascar, but like they get them from all over.
Yeah.
So we used quite a bit of that. I think I bought an entire pound, which is like, it's a fairly expensive ingredient. And, we made a tincture with a lot of that stuff, which is like using like a grain neutral spirit. We actually used a rum to kind of extract those flavors. So,
oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah, we thought the rum would be like really kind of apropos for the snickerdoodle cookie, not like nice kind of vanillins in there as well.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just thinking as you're talking, and next week we're going to do some shorts, some ideas that you can have for your Christmas and holiday parties. And I think I'm going to make a Moroccan lamb that I make with a lot of those same spices. And I think the Berkshire Holidale.
You nailed it.
Nailed it.
You got it.
The Holidale. I think that would be a great pairing. I make lamb.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I make lamb, and I use cinnamon, and I use nutmeg. I use allspice. I use rum. So I think that would be a really great pairing for that. A lot of people don't like lamb. I love lamb. Lamb's another thing I'll drink a beer with. I'll drink a good IPA. Either you love lamb or you hate it. And if you hate it, you don't like the smell of it. If you don't like the smell of it, you don't. If you're in charge of your household, you don't allow it to be cooked in the house.
Correct. Yeah.
And I'm not in charge of my household, so I'm gonna have to do it when my wife is traveling next week.
I bet you could take that Holidale and do a reduction with it too, and maybe if you maybe do a glaze on the lamb or something with it.
That's a good idea too. I'm definitely getting the Holidale anyway. Boy, I'm really getting it now. Holidale.
You're like 6 for 10.
6 for 10, and I was 0 for the first.
Pretty good.
I was 0 for the first 4.
Yeah.
And if you're really counting, I was 0 for like the first 8. But we won't get into that. We've been on this show for a long time. But
I know this is an hour-long podcast.
It's been a long podcast for us anyway. Unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to give away a Berkshire Brew T-shirt. You guys have any T-shirts?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The first person that gives us a call or a text, 732, speaking of New Jersey, 732-336-1040, 732-336-1030, be the first person to text or call, and we will give you a Berkshire Brew Company T-shirt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak up tonight like 1 in the morning. I'm going to sneak through. I'm sure they have alarms. No, I'm never going to get in there. I'm just going to go and ask for you to give me one. I was going to go steal one, but I'm really not.
It's like Fort Knox in here, Dave.
Yeah, I'll never get in.
You're not good.
I'd be a terrible thief, right? First of all, I'm kind of old. They have to like crawl through windows. The night. What do they call them? The burglars at night. What do they call them? There's a word for that. What are they called? Anyway, I would be a bad like midnight thief going into a house because I go to bed early, right? So by the time I got in, if I ever did get in the window, it would be such an event that I'd probably fall asleep. 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, I think the guy was breaking into the house and fell asleep. Can you describe him? Yeah, can you describe him? Yeah, he's slightly overweight. He's got nice breasts, and he's got the smell of Berkshire Brewing Holidale on his breath. Oh, Mr. Dusso, we'll be right over. Be a lousy.
We get this call all the time.
We get this every day. He was just looking for food. Is he poor? No, he just likes to eat. The eating banker. I think they found the Route 91 bank robber. Did you know there was a Route 91 bank robber?
Like recently?
In the last year and a half, he's been everywhere from New Haven to Keene, New Hampshire. And they caught him.
Get him off the street.
Get him off the street. He's from Chicopee.
So
he's not going to
Chicopee,
yeah, with all my Polish relatives up there.
Yep.
Not
some
good.
Portuguese down there too.
Yep, I love this. Another food I love, Portuguese food. A lot of lamb that would go good with the Holidale. Anyway, we're gonna give that T-shirt away, and we've been. Hello. We have lost Noah. Noah is gone. Hey, I just want to say thank you to Noah. He has disappeared from our screen, but it is Berkshire Brew Holidale, and of course Berkshire Brew. You can find it in supermarkets, in restaurants, and stores all throughout Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. And we wish him and his family, his father Gary, who I've known for a long time, they are a class act. Very nice people. Don't forget, 732-336-1040. You can win a T-shirt from the Berkshire Brew Company if you're the first person to call or text. Once again, 732-336-1040. If you're watching on YouTube, we're going to just say nothing and come right back. If you're listening on a podcast, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back after that. We hope you enjoyed the interview. And we hope you look forward or you watch next week on YouTube and Facebook. We're going to do about 5 mini 1-minute recipes that you can use for your holiday parties. And we're also going to include the Berkshire Holidale in our lamb recipe as recommended by Noah Bogoff. We'll be right back after this. Stick around here at Cooking Something Good. And that's it. Show's over. Another show is come and gone. Cooking Something Good. We had a great time today. Special thanks to Noah Bogoff. Really interesting, fun, funny guy. Easygoing. It was a great interview. You can win a T-shirt. If it hasn't already been won, I bet you it has. I bet you the T-shirt's won. But you can find great certificates for the holiday season at csgbn.com. csgbn.com. Just go to our shop. And you can find some great gift ideas for the holidays because it's the holiday season. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Is that true? I don't know. Just because they say it? I don't know. Who knows? Hey, don't forget, every Tuesday, starting this coming Tuesday, we have a new series. It's Boston Concierge combined with Seattle to Sunapee. Andrea Jorgensen, Joe Rondina, and myself sit around and talk about some great restaurants, and Joe talks to us about great things to do in the greater Boston area, and Andrea chimes in with what's fresh and what's in season on the West Coast, and those two are great chefs. They're trained chefs, so they're the real deal. But we sit around and talk about food, and we talk about anything related to food, and sometimes we just talk about blah, 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 blah. But it's fun, and you're going to enjoy it. It drops every Tuesday, just about 1 o'clock, and it's starting this Tuesday. Until next time, remember, I'm not wearing any pants below here because my washing machine won't spin out because it's a direct drive General Electric washing machine, relatively new, and it sucks. So now I'm half naked because of my washing machine. Until next time, food is fun, fun is food. It's always foodie fun time here at Cooking Something Good. See ya later.